Welcome to CEO Money. I'm Michael Yorba. Thanks for joining us. I've got Reda Hicks, CEO and founder of GotSpot, on the show with me today. Reda, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Glad you're here. All right. GotSpot, short-term space for your business, kind of like Airbnb for commercial space. Tell me all about it.
Absolutely. So the idea is to realign the bottom of the local business pyramid in every community in the country. The two pain points that can help one another if you have the right magic mix, right? One is the large and growing population of entrepreneurs that just don't keep traditional brick and mortar leases anymore. It doesn't fit their model. It doesn't fit their lifestyle or their needs. But sometimes they have to have space for some awesome opportunity, or they have to say no and their business can't grow. And then on the flip side, Main Street America, every community has brick and mortar businesses that just aren't fully utilized. They have capacity and they would absolutely love to let someone else use it and pay them for it to help offset their overhead. So we're trying to take those spot seekers and pair them with the spot holders that can give them what they need to grow, put money in the spot holders' pocket, and everybody wins.
Brilliant idea. I can see you're going to change the world just like Airbnb did. All right, give us some background on you, your experience as a military spouse, attorney, your experience in Houston with space challenges, and Hurricane Harvey.
Oh, that's a lot. Okay, so I'm an attorney, right? Practicing attorney for 13 years, first as a complex commercial litigator, and now I, for the last 3 years, in-house at a global shipping and logistics company. I'm also the spouse of a retired Army Special Forces soldier. My husband was a Green Beret. He served 22 years, and I spent 8 of those years with him. But as an attorney, my profession is licensed. My license doesn't travel. So he actually went wherever the Army sent him, and I stayed right here in Houston to pursue my legal career. So on the one hand, I'm in a business community and I see awesome businesses come and go all the time. On the other hand, I'm very plugged into the military spouse community, and many military spouses are entrepreneurs. And if you think about it for a second, there's a good reason for that. When you move every 2 to 3 years, traditional career track is just not super workable, and especially if you have a licensed profession. So if you want to have any kind of continuity to your professional track, you have to have a fully portable hustle, right? Whatever your business is, you have to be able to carry it with you. So I can't tell you how many spouses I know who struggle with this. They can usually make magic from their home, but occasionally they're in a new place, they need to find space, and Google's their best tool. And we had something very similar happen this time last year with Harvey, because as a logistics attorney, we do warehousing. That's part of what we do. So I got lots and lots of phone calls from leaders in my city, desperate to find space to put people, relief efforts, emergency response, and then storage for goods. And then just a couple weeks later, once everybody's trying to get back on their feet, a lot of businesses are displaced. They need temporary space. And their best tool also was Google. So that's kind of my aha moment. Like, in emergencies, you need to be able to find space, and every day entrepreneurs need to be able to find space.
Give us some examples of how you've helped people in this process, so that other people can kind of relate to it. We get the big picture, but somebody had a crisis, you fixed it, and then they went on, and it worked out great.
Sure. So the crisis, really, that part hasn't happened yet, just because we're in our next hurricane cycle. And so far, so good. We're keeping all of our fingers crossed we don't have another Harvey. But every time I onboard a new spot, I do ask them, are you willing to be activated in case of an emergency? And if so, that becomes a searchable part of their profile so that people can find that later. But in terms of businesses, some just basic examples, right? There's a designer I'm working with out of New York, and she wants to plant a store in Houston, but she doesn't want to just enter into a long-term lease right away. She wants to test out some neighborhoods and find out where she's going to get the best traction on her particular designs. And so I'm helping her find pop-up spots to do that in. There's a gentleman here, and he's actually also a veteran, and he teaches geriatric yoga. And so typically his model is going to someone's home and teaching them yoga in their living room. But to grow his business, what he needs to do is have big space to train trainers. That's not going to work in somebody's living room. So about once a quarter, he needs large gym space for 2 days to be able to train a bunch of people how to teach geriatric yoga. The other one I get a lot of calls about is bakers, actually, because only about half of the people who are registered bakers keep a commercial kitchen monthly, because it's expensive. And if all you do is cater, you don't need it. But if you resell goods, even just sometimes that has to be done in a commercial kitchen. So I get a lot of calls for who can I borrow a kitchen from, just to fill this huge order I just called. This bakery wants me to do, 1,200 macaroons. Where can I do them?
Got it.
Just very Main Street examples of people who are growing businesses, but they sometimes need space to do it in, and they're willing to pay for it.
Now, you went live in June. GotSpot went live in June in Houston, and you've got a formal launch event coming up September 18th, just ahead of Grace Hopper Women in Tech Conference. Let's talk about it. Bring it up.
So my launch, I'm very excited about. I'm very plugged in the Houston community, and tons of people here have been super helpful to me in getting up and going. So it's a big celebration. We're going to do a little bit of a spot crawl and check out a few different spots that are on the platform and let those spot holders tell you all about their space. And then at the end, it's just a big party to have some fun. I'm super excited that that's happening the week before Grace Hopper, because GotSpot's debut event for a customer is on that Monday, and it's a Women in Tech showcase, showcasing Houston women who are working in STEM technologies. And then throughout the week, we'll be doing some exciting things with Grace Hopper. It's the largest Women in Tech conference in the world, and we are so excited to get to be a part of it.
I'm glad you are. I can see that this is just going to grow like an octopus. All right. Now, you're started in Houston, but you're going to expand into other cities, and the particular ones near major military bases. Give us some example of the growth rate, the geographic rollout that you've got planned.
Right. So my first 6 months were devoted to getting the template right in Houston. So, the remainder of 18 into 2019 here. But over the following 18 months, we're looking to expand to San Antonio, Austin, Corpus, El Paso, and DFW by design, because each of those communities have military installations nearby. I feel very strongly, I want GotSpot to benefit everyone, but in particular military spouses, because I know that in that community there's a huge need. And then once we've tackled Texas, we'll be headed east across the South. There are major military installations near a lot of the population centers across the South.
All right. Let's talk about the growing population of female founders in Texas.
It has been amazing to me. So I've actually only been on the startup journey for about a year. I've been an attorney for a really long time, but if you're not involved in entrepreneurship, you just don't see it. And so I was just connected through friends to a fantastic woman out of Austin, Texas, who started a virtual affinity group for female founders. It's fantastic. It's peer mentoring, and just a chance for people to ask the questions they need to ask and get the resources they need to be able to grow, share opportunities, and cheerlead for each other and that kind of thing. And it started with her and I think 2 or 3 other people, and now it's over 450 women who are helping one another grow their businesses across Texas, just in a little over a year. It's a very vibrant community and really, really fantastic. And you're starting to see female founders showing up at very, strongly for one another at events. So for instance, Startup Week this year, the first day of Startup Week is all female founders and women focused. And then South by is also doing a female founders track this year. So you're starting to see women in Texas just kind of take over, and I'm loving it.
Me too. All right, Reda, thanks for being a guest on the show. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
My pleasure. All right, you've been watching CEO Money with Michael Yorba. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel.